Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Belzer was the host of a top-rated radio program right here in New York City. Most recently, he has been working in motion pictures, completing Author with Al Pacino. He is also one of the most inventive stand-up comics in the business today, and it's a pleasure to welcome Mr. Richard Belzer.
Hi. Hi. How are you? Great. You just answer me every time I talk to you, okay? Are you in a good mood? Okay, that's the end of the audience participation. Now, I'm in a good mood today. I was a little depressed when I got this morning because last night I had a dry dream, but I'm over that depression. Actually, I'm still depressed because I didn't win an Oscar. I wasn't nominated, but I still didn't win. And I'm glad that Chariots of Fire won. It's a great film and a great song in that film, right? Chariots of Fire. I'm running on the beach now. They didn't have Adidas then. It's the 1920s. There's no black people running, so an English guy can win. If I hear that song once more, I'm going to smack an Englishman in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little tired of that song. But I'm also glad that Katharine Hepburn won an Oscar for trying to keep her head still for 2 hours. That was quite... Wait. First, moan it. First you laugh, then you moan. Like, moan at me, like I made that up. Like, she doesn't shake her head, right? I'm the guy that stands in the back of her head and does this, right? So boo me, right? Great, yeah. You gotta take Dramamine to watch that chick work. But, you know, she's a great gal, and we all love her, but, you know. It's a good thing the president didn't get shot because now the Oscars are on time now. But when Reagan got shot last year, it was really heavy and serious. You know, no matter what you think of the man, you don't want him to get shot. And you realize how many people want his job. Like, as soon as Reagan got shot, the vice president was in Texas. Bush heard that Reagan got shot, and he bought a new suit because he thought he had a job. That's how sensitive he was. And Haig heard the president got shot. He called a press conference for no apparent reason. He comes out, he says, "I'm in charge here." He's sweating, his tie's crooked, his hair's messed up, he wet his pants. He's in charge here. I'd rather live on the Falkland Islands than have him in charge here. That was pretty scary. And now they're trying to, like, get everybody to join the Army and the Navy and the Marines. And I was down south last week working as a waiter. No, I was down south. And they had a commercial on Southern TV for the Air Force. Like, they want to get people to join the Air Force. Now, I think the Air Force probably has enough people in it already, but they run this commercial to discourage people from joining because they had this guy on, a colonel in the Air Force. He had really short hair. His hair was so short it looked like little barbers crawled up his nose and cut it from the inside. And he was obviously reading cue cards. He was sitting behind a desk. He looked in the cue card and he said, "How do you do? My name is Lieutenant Gray, son. Before I joined the Air Force, I could barely read. You too can join an organization that's been in existence since World War I." So I joined the Air Force the next day, my last night on American television. But also, you see Jack Nicholson at the Oscars with the real dark glasses on, and Jack's my idol. He is one of my, I have a lot of idols, he's one of them. And we went out to eat after. I wasn't at the Oscars, but he called me up and went to Burger King. He eats at Burger King all the time. Pull up in the limo, go to Burger King, and he orders. He goes up to the guy at Burger King, he says, "I want an omelet. No potatoes. Tomatoes instead, and you can hold that big whopper between your knees, sweetheart." Thanks a lot.
Richard Belzer, you danced out here, you danced off here.
I'm a dancing fool.
You'd really rather be a rock and roll guy, wouldn't you?
Well, I tried that. When you mentioned I was on the radio before. I made a little money when you're on the radio. They pay more than 100 clear a week. Mm-hmm. And I invested all my money in a band and in a studio, and that's why I'm here to ask you for a loan.
Now, what came of that? Did you have?
I have some tapes that you can hear anytime you come over to my house.
Right, it could be the same deal as Slim Whitman's
Yeah.
company. Get in on that and
Not quite that successful.
mail those suckers out here.
I changed my name to Dick Whitman, but it didn't work.
Didn't work.
It was ridiculous.
You're living in Los Angeles presently.
I live out in the Hollywood place.
Yeah.
A crazy place.
You don't look like a guy.
It's nutty out there. They're fabulous people, and they're nuts.
You don't look like a guy who'd live in California. You look like a New Yorker.
I look like a limo driver, right? No, you said that to me once before,
Once
and
before,
I
I
couldn't
said it to
forget
you.
it. It was
Yeah.
such a fabulous line.
Yeah.
No. Just because you look like David Hartman doesn't mean I can look like a limo driver. Which is also your line.
It was.
I just do your lines to play it safe so I'll get asked back.
Most of this stuff. No, but the Katharine Hepburn stuff wasn't my line. Was
No,
it?
no.
Okay.
You want to clear that up
Yeah.
in case she wants to do the show. Just have a headrest for her. Sorry. I'm sorry I didn't know she was a guy.
Hey, we're
so I'm
just
sorry.
kidding around here. We're
Oh,
just
Catherine, when
Plus,
we do
it's
that
late.
film, babe?
It's like 1:15. What the hell? We can.
Where? For Catherine, it's after one.
Everywhere it's 1:15.
Ooh.
Now,
In
tell
Iceland?
me, tell me about your movies. You're a big motion picture,
Well-
a driving force in the American cinema.
Well, I did do my own stunt driving in a film that I did. No, one thing I'm very excited about is I'm doing a movie with Robert Downey, the guy that did Putney Swope and Greaser's Palace. That's one of the reasons I'm in town. And I just finished a movie with Al. Hey, really something wrong here? There's something really, really wrong here? No, you're out of order. Your car is out of order. He does that in every movie for no apparent
Regardless,
reason.
don't make any difference.
No,
yeah.
it was really good to work with him because it's like a master class in acting, watching him work.
Yeah.
He was a great actor.
Well, things are going great for you.
Well, since I was on this show last.
Let me ask you
I'm a
one
hit.
thing. Let me ask you one thing. Is it true here that you roughed up Henry Winkler? Is that a possibility?
Well, there was a scene in the movie. I play a pimp and a killer. Can you say pimp on TV?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was a scene in the movie. See, he cuts in on. I'm the heavy in the movies. We say not literal. It's a figurative term for villain. You people in Crevice, Alabama, and that means villain. Now I was the villain in the movie, and there's one scene where I get to smack Henry around, so the Bells beats up the Fonz.
Unbelievable.
You know.
We'll look for that.
But he's a good guy. I
yeah.
don't want to be derisive of Henry because he was.
I hope you come back and see us if you're ever in New York again.
Anytime you want me.
Thank you
there.
very much,
Okay,
ladies and
thank you.
gentlemen. Richard Belzer. We'll be right back with Edwin Newman.